way to Cal, the games I went to.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know, when Craig was going to Cal, I saw him play at least a dozen times. I went to the big.
About a quarter then, weren't they?
It was about 250.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. We always had good seats. I remember
No, I
my
mean
favorite.
the program.
Oh, the program. Yeah,
Yeah.
the program was a quarter.
Yeah.
I remember my favorite wide receiver was a guy named Jack Schraub.
Yes.
Who ended up playing with the New York Jets, I think, a couple of years. I think he was drafted by.
He was my best. We went to school together since the fourth grade.
Did he play at all in the pros?
He tried out with the Broncos.
Was
not
it
the
the
Broncos, but the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay.
And he was cut the day I got in from the Chicago All-Star game.
Oh my gosh.
Which was, because he could play.
Yeah, he had great
play.
hands.
And then he tried out for the 49ers, I think, but he never did stick.
Yeah.
Let me just go through a little housekeeping thing. Okay, so the way these microphones work is stay about this close.
Okay.
And if you have to talk to these guys, either look in the mirror or pivot like this. The only thing you can't do that. And you'll tell when you put your earphones on.
Was Johnny Beasley your tight end?
Beasley was there, yeah. He was like a sophomore.
Because he played with the Vikings for a number of years. He was pretty good. Pretty good player. Not an all-pro, but solid.
Yes.
Solid player. Yeah.
Now, I know that there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One was, the fact that we've got Broncos Seattle coming, so we've got, the old Orange Crush here. And then also about the concussions type thing. So get your feedback on that. And then anything else you guys
How long
want
does
to
this
cover?
show last?
The show, well, I've already done the first 2 minutes. We'll only be here 45 minutes. Okay. And I've got some other things to cover, just the talk in general. But you guys know what you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. No
Oh,
problem.
yeah. The station told me, too. They said your co-hosts are a little loud.
Oh.
Tone them down a bit.
Well, jeez. What do they want?
Hey, come on.
We're in the entertainment
Okay,
business.
remember, you
Oh,
gotta
that's
put
right.
that on
That's
the
true.
thing. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Good grief.
Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn
All about that action, boss.
and Bruce McGowan.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. Okay, we are in the studio. We're joined here by Craig Morton, former Dallas Cowboys and Denver Broncos quarterback. Craig, welcome to
Thanks very much.
Sports Econ 101.
Pride of Campbell, California.
That is exactly right.
That's right.
Okay.
Prune capital of the world.
And a great All-American at Cal. I saw him play when I was a kid. That shows you how old I am. I mean, he was my first hero.
Shows you how old I am.
Okay, now first thing, let's talk about Broncos Seattle. Because I remember Orange Crush, and I was crushed when you lost to Dallas. And I was going to ask you, and I asked you just before we came on the air, how did it feel to play against your former team?
It didn't feel good at all. The thing I remember most, I think I was looking at all the tiles at the Superdome all day long. That's all I remember looking up. They kicked my fanny. I was just with those guys in Houston with Too Tall and Randy White. Harvey's passed on, but they still look at me. Hollywood said to me, "You should have never tried that option." I should have never tried anything.
I always remember that it was Randy White, and I'm trying to remember who the other guy was that they were co-MVPs that knocked you around. Harvey Martin. Yeah, those two guys were co-MVP. I've never seen two defensive players co-MVPs at the Super Bowl, but they made life miserable for you. And I was at that game. I remember just feeling badly for you.
Yeah, I don't like Super Bowl time of the year too much because these films keep coming out about the Super Bowls, and I didn't perform particularly well.
Yeah.
So when my wife, every once in a while, she'll have something on her like that, and I'll just walk out.
No.
I've never seen the game. I never will.
Yeah, probably leading up, you probably fielded a million questions about going against the old faith, your former team.
I have faced a lot of questions, and the results are obvious.
Yeah.
They played a great game. I did not play well at all.
I was going to say,
You guys shouldn't have a media day like they do today. I mean, now it's a.
Oh, they did.
Now
They did.
Now it's a circus. Yeah, but I mean,
it was a circus then.
But it really started with Julie Brown in '86 when she
Really?
came out and started.
I don't know. When I covered 4 or 5 of them in the 70s, and it was crazy then. I just think it's gotten crazier.
How about it, Craig? Was it nuts?
Yeah, it was crazy because reporters, especially at Super Bowls, they have to dream up stuff because there's really nothing to talk about. But after the first 5 minutes, all the questions are answered, and they want to know your favorite color, your favorite tree.
Yeah, but what about this year being played back east with this the snow-covered.
Actually, it's going to be. It should be
kind of nice.
It'll be cold though.
But what do you think about playing outdoors?
I think the regular season is great. All kinds of elements, everybody's doing it. But when it comes to Super Bowl, I think you got to have a level field, playing good weather. I don't think the weather can ever decide a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And it just very well may, unfortunately, and especially if we do get some unexpected snow, that could create all sorts of problems. You ever played a crazy snow game?
I was at the Ice Bowl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that's right. Came in again.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that was. I remember the referee blowing the whistle, and he didn't have any rubber on the whistle because they hadn't had it yet.
Oh.
And he lost a little lip.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It's the only game in my life that I've ever said, because Meredith was playing, he was starting, and I said, please God, do not let him get hurt.
Actually, though, if you run around, don't you get heat up a little bit?
There's no way.
No.
And I could just remember the goal line when it was the Packers were about to score, and you saw the Cowboy defense trying to, try to dig in just to create some traction.
The famous block by Jerry Kramer.
Yeah, and Fuzzy Thurston. Ouch.
Yes.
And you're watching it from the sidelines with that helpless feeling. There's nothing you can do.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And,
it's only because Don Meredith was in the way.
Hey, well, you played at Cal, and you played on some teams that weren't very good, but you always made it interesting. I remember Cal was in a lot of close games. You lost a lot of close games, but the thing was you're an exciting team. And I remember that was an interesting time, too, when you played, because it was the 60s, and Mario Savio was on campus, and there were Vietnam protests and student riots. I mean, it must have been
that was pretty early on.
Yeah, that
was early on in the war.
Everything was just starting.
Yeah.
When I was in college.
Yeah.
Mario came on the grounds, and he was speaking, and the police came. Why they came, I don't know. That was all just so poorly handled. And they got in a police car, and everybody jumped on it. And it ended up about 3 feet high. Couldn't get them out. It was like I was up on the roof of the student union because I wasn't very good on there with those fools. And but it's all started then.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention, we were talking about Jerry Kramer with the famous block, and I was researching this, and I had totally forgotten about this, that he was also the field goal kicker.
That's right.
And at 6'4", 245 pounds, I don't think they needed a roughing the kicker back then. He could have taken care of himself, but also would have saved on the payroll.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of kickers in those days, you didn't have the specialized kickers, did you, Craig?
Well, yeah, they started to. Dallas really kind of started that stuff, I think. Except you had Luke Rosa, and you had
George Blanda.
George Blanda, of course, he was a combination, but Rosa played a little bit in defense.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas used to go to Europe and try to find, or Australia, and find anybody that could kick. And I remember there was a guy named Colin Ridgway that we played here at the 49ers in a preseason game. It's Colin's first game. He was from Australia, and we called him Boomer because he could really punt it. I mean, he could really get it. But this one particular punt, he gets in, the wind was blowing in Keysar, he hits it. Started. It was like a 1-yard punt. I said, "What the heck? What are you thinking?" He said, "Craig." He says, "I punted and I looked up and he said, oh, my God, it's coming back."
Like a boomerang.
There you go.
Right.
Hey, I got to ask you before. I know Edward wants to talk to you about the concussions, but the game I always thought that was the highlight of your career was when you dethroned the Raiders, and I was there on the sidelines covering it for the Raiders. 1977 at Mile High Stadium, the greatest moment at that time in Denver sports history. And I remember you had this huge bruise on your side after the game. You had the biggest smile I've ever seen.
Well, I tell you, I was in the hospital the whole week. I never practiced it down. I got out of the hospital Sunday morning. Coach came over on Wednesday, gave me the game plan, and I didn't think I could play.
Yeah, they had to drain your hip, didn't they?
Many times, and they couldn't get the blood out of it. I had a hip pointer, but it bled, and my leg was like 2 inches bigger than the other one. So a friend of mine came, Lauren Hawley, came and got me to the hospital. He said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I don't know. I can barely walk." He says, "You waited too long for this." So I said, "All right, let's go." And it was about, 15 to 20 degrees. I got in a whirlpool, made sure all my teammates could see me. And I said, "If they don't touch me, we'll win." And Fred Miller came over to me and said, "Can you go?" And I said, "If you tie my shoes, I'll go." And actually, in front of the team, I went down and tied my shoes.
Wow.
I couldn't bend down, but I could back up, which is the only thing I could do.
So
anyhow.
what pressure to put on your front line to
It worked.
protect that quarterback?
Well, he also had Haven Moses, who made two great catches, too. One a diving catch and one a catch and run something like 76 yards, and that was pretty much the game. I mean, Dave Casper brought the Raiders back, but you guys had it, ran out the clock. I remember that crowd went nuts.
That was crazy.
Did you in that game? Did you get sacked at all? Or
I only got hit a couple times, and I was and I fell on the other side. But they didn't touch me. And that big old defensive line. That's was saying something. It didn't happen in the Super Bowl, but it happened.
Unfortunately. Okay, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here. Here's the first trivia question. Again, the theme is NFL potpourri. Got a little variation here. Which kicker set a record in 2007 by kicking 74 extra points in the season? And he actually went 74 for 74. The first three callers with the correct answer.
Wait, what year?
2007. All right. The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. Which kicker set a record in 2007 by kicking 74 extra points in the season? One more time, 888-660-4495. Make sure to include your name and your email address. Speak slowly.
What team?
I was going to say...
AFC, NFC.
The only hint I'll give you is the AFC.
It's an AFC team.
I'll give you the AFC, okay? It's funny because I don't even remember this guy, but if I give you the team,
you're just giving us a hint right there.
Really? You think so?
Well, you said I don't remember the guy. He must not be a very prominent kicker.
I will agree with that.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay. Audience, stay tuned. We've got Craig Morgan
AFC
from the Dallas Cowboys and Denver Broncos in the studio with us. We're going to get into the concussions when we come back. Stay tuned.
You got me there.
Wow, AFC. Wow.
Oh, I got some good questions for you. I got my last question is going to be a goodie. Who was the first running back to throw for over 750 yards?
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
In a season. Wow.
Yeah.
Running back.
Not in the season, probably in his career. I'm going to guess.
In his career.
Yeah,
I
got some fun. Oh, but I always try to stump these guys. I got to keep them excited.
Well, you can stump me.
Yeah.
Well,
some are hard.
2007. If it's ever been, I can't even. It's funny. I can't even think of kickers.
It's not that long ago, but.
Man, and you've never heard of him.
Well, I don't remember this guy.
He's probably not kicking anymore then.
I don't think so. And you'd think that to do 74 for 74.
Did he kick for a long time?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Unless he kicked for a team that scored a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say, they're thinking. You guys are smart.
The Broncos. Who's the Broncos kicker? Matt Prater, that's right. He's pretty good.
Oh, you mean?
Today, yeah. Prater, and then it's Hauschka. Is that the guy's name? Steven Hauschka.
Yeah.
Two guys who probably never get interviewed.
That's true. Well, you never know. At the Super Bowl, somebody's going to come up. Ever have anybody come up to you and say, Craig, if you could be a tree, what kind of a tree would you be? I actually heard somebody ask that question at the Super Bowl. Yes.
Well, you heard about Marshawn Lynch today.
No.
That was my
the Skittles thing, right?
That was my I'm all about the action, boss. I mean that was
okay.
Media day today. Marshawn Lynch gets up there, 6 minutes 41 seconds, leaves.
Wow.
He made it 6 minutes. At first, he wasn't going to go at all. And the league said if you don't go, we're going to fine you $100 because he hasn't talked all year.
How long was he supposed to stay for?
Well, for the entire session.
He was always so good at Cal, though. Why is he not a talker?
Usually about an hour.
Oh
wow! What turned him
on?
Yeah,
you come out, and the high prominent guys get their own little booth, and you're elevated. Okay. And then everybody swarms around you, and then then they fire away all the questions. Yeah. And I'm sure there was one for Marshawn, and he got up there, and then after he made it almost 7 minutes, and he said,
I didn't realize he's turned.
And then on the way out, Dion grabbed him, and it was like he was like talking to Colin Kaepernick.
Oh no!
It was like Dion was trying to get stuff out of him, and then finally Dion said, "You're shy, aren't you?" He goes, "I'm all about the action, boss."
Okay, so you don't have to explain that to us.
Yeah,
it's funny because I remember him as a Cal player.
He's going to get fined.
He never had problems in the media when he was a Cal? I don't remember.
No, I don't think. I think it was just a personal preference.
Yeah.
Not to talk.
Oh, okay.
He'd rather.
Yeah, let us.
He'd rather just pay the fine and just not talk at all.
Hey, stay out of trouble.
So like Jack Johnson when he got caught for speeding, back in those days, it was like $50. So he gave the cop $100. He goes, "Well, I'll be going back the next day."
That's a good one.
Yeah, here's $100s.
Yeah.
Coming back the same way, boss.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn.
Beast mode.
Okay, and Bruce
The
McSullin.
Super Bowl.
Okay, when we cut to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. The theme is, again, NFL potpourri. Which kicker set a record in 2007 by kicking 74 extra points in the season?
Haven't the foggiest.
Okay, now
I'm gonna go Edward Brown.
Yeah, there you go.
You got any idea, Craig?
No, you're not talking about getting kicked out of my own house, are you?
Yeah.
74 times?
That would be drop kick.
No.
You ever drop kicked out of your house by your wife?
Listen, I've got a very nice doghouse in the backyard just for me.
And
It's got a man cave. Yes, that's it.
There you go.
Okay, well, here's the hint. It was New England kicker. Does that help?
That wasn't Matt Vinatieri.
No.
Or Adam Vinatieri.
No, I guess it was before him.
Yeah.
Stefan Gostkowski.
Oh, that's right, Gostkowski. Yes.
See, you lost me on that one.
That's right.
Okay, we're in the studio here also with Craig Morton, famous quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and Denver Broncos.
And don't forget Cal.
Well,
He was
okay, that's
All-American at Cal.
that's true. He also
Come
played
on.
for the New York
Local.
Giants.
Yeah.
People forget about that.
That's true.
That's true.
Hey, Craig, now nobody asked you about Super Bowl V, do they?
The Blunder Bowl.
That was the Colts Jim O'Brien
Yeah.
kick
Jim O'Brien.
to be the Cow. Nobody talks about that.
Not
huh?
9 turnovers in that game. Did they?
They still talk about it.
Okay.
I won't answer any questions.
You went up against Johnny Unitas though that day, didn't you? Yeah. And that's
Earl Morrill too.
Earl Morrill, that's right.
Cinderella Man.
Maddie.
Tom Maddy.
Number 41.
Yes.
I saw him when I was in Baltimore during the season for a Raider game. Then just same guy, just outgoing,
Really?
My dad's from Baltimore.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny when Craig first came in. I was asking because I did a little research on this. I had totally forgotten there was one season when Landry. Well, it was a game. It was a game where Landry switched between Craig and Staubach, back and forth every play.
Right.
And did he do it for the whole game? Or?
Whole game.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears.
Wow.
I remember that.
Did it work?
No.
I mean,
Almost.
Yeah. Can you imagine how much time do you have to run back out on the field each time?
That's someone like Tom Landry to do something like that.
And I can remember Tom talking about for some reason when you guys would go with the blue jerseys,
Oh yeah.
you wouldn't win.
Those were supposed to be the traditional home jerseys, but for the Cowboys, they always wore the light colored jerseys, the white jerseys at home.
Right. We always wear white.
Yeah.
At home we wear blue.
The only time you wore blue was when you went on the road, and some teams would wear their road uniforms just to spite you guys, so you'd have to wear blue.
That's exactly right.
And you wore blue in the Super Bowl, so naturally you lost.
Yes.
And I got to ask you, in the early days, okay, Don Meredith, he was the quarterback of the team, but I'm thinking of North Dallas 40, the movie, which was loosely based on that Dallas Cowboys team of the 1960s. How accurate and inaccurate was that portrayal?
Well, Peter Jett wrote the book. He was my roommate.
There you go.
But I never knew he was writing it.
Oh, that's a little sneaky, isn't it?
He was a different kind of guy. Great guy, but very intellectual, very kind of, he's a hippie. Before hippies, I think. But it was very accurate in many ways. But there are a lot of characters built into one guy or one person. But it was, that was pretty. I didn't read the book. I saw the movie, and I understand the book was probably a little bit more.
I thought Mac Davis had Don Meredith down pat. Boy, he.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little too.
Big Cowboy fan.
Okay. Moving on here for just a little bit. Okay. Let's get into the concussions because you're kind of. Would you consider yourself a pivotal person in this concussion lawsuit thing that's going on?
Were you part of the 126? You know that?
What is that?
The 126 players on the lawsuit, right? Or is that low?
Yeah, there's
So it's gotta be more than
8,000
that.
or something.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think. And families. They included families,
Oh, okay.
players. mean, one figure I heard was 14,000, and then the settlement was for 769 million.
Yeah.
They have not had preliminary approval of that. The judge threw it away. There's me. If you want to continue talking, but I filed an individual lawsuit against the NFL because I think it's time that they have to divulge what the hell they knew and when they knew it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. I'm doing it also because they should have been taking care of these guys that are really hurting for years. They should not have to have a settlement lawsuit, which is whenever it gets settled, and then they have to go through all the preliminary things and all that. They've got this grid that the NFL has proposed in the settlement that says where you fit on this grid is how much money you get. And so there's going to be thousands of guys that don't get a dime. The guys that need it should have been taken care of already. I mean, I can go back to the Mike Webster story, living in his car, committed, suicide, and there's a lot of guys who commit suicide. This should not happen. So,
Junior Seau.
Yeah.
Dave Dalby of the Raiders. Yeah, there's another one.
Dave Durson from the Bears. Too many guys. Too many guys have ALS and Parkinson's. See, this is silly stuff. They should be doing it already.
And it seems like, if I understand correctly, it's not just the idea that, everybody knows football is you hit each other, a dangerous sport, but it seems almost like malpractice for doctors, so to speak, because it's like, oh yeah, you're fine, go ahead and continue to play when you're not.
He just got a stinger, I always get a kick out of that one.
Yeah, get the smelling sauce. How many fingers? Okay, he's good.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, that's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to, I guess I'm trying to hurt the NFL in that. I'm just trying to get them to admit, there's been a lot of things coming out now about doctors that say this and that in that book that just came out. I can't remember the guy's name, but that kind of discloses when all this stuff started and when the doctors actually knew what was happening, that they covered it up. All we want is tell us what the deal is.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm not doing it for money. I'm just doing it to the fact I want them to fess up to the players and their families of what they knew when they knew it, and what are they doing to prevent it from in the future.
Greg, is there any chance that the NFL will ever design a helmet that could actually protect the player from getting a concussion? It just seems to me, because of the nature of the sport, from what I understand, a concussion is not so much the hit, but it's actually the brain being sloshed around, and that is something that happens almost every play on the offensive line.
You have to have those sumo wrestler bag type things,
Exactly. I mean, with today's technology, it seems like they could maybe design a helmet like that, but if not, I mean, the game is going to continue to see these concussions.
Yeah, as these guys continue to get bigger and just hit even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to make the field wider because these guys are so big. It looks like, to me, it looks like a professional basketball game if you sit on the floor of the game. I don't know how they see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, all these huge people. And football's the same thing, but it's an inherently brutal sport.
Well, we talked about this previous shows that back in 1970, I think it was, there was one player who weighed over 300 pounds. Now there's like a couple of hundred guys, and the scary thing is they're fast.
I've often wanted to ask this question to some of you guys: when's the last time they could sit on their mommy's lap? Were they 2 or 3? How do they get so huge?
It's like I saw this one comedian, and he was talking about he was Ben Cartwright, and he said, "Yeah, you remember Balboa Haas? Two women died giving birth to him."
Have there been any players that have played the game you think in your era that did steroids? That did a lot of that. I mean, with the steroid era was in football, it pretty much was in the 80s and 90s. Was there steroid use in the 70s too, or just was it pretty limited?
I think there was some. When I never noticed too much when I was with the Cowboys, if at all. Giants for a little while. Of course, Lyle Zato played for the Broncos, and he was a big steroid user. I didn't know what was wrong with his body, but it was the most taut body I'd ever seen. And he definitely had mood swings and everything, but I didn't know what that was. But really, nobody knew what steroids were.
Well, I'm kind of curious about Randy White, because he was like one of the strongest guys in the NFL.
He's huge right now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I just saw him this last weekend, but he's in great shape.
I remember like him and Manny Fernandez. There was this big thing, about who was stronger, and it's like he could bench press 575. Back then, talking 70.
Hey, you played with two of the more interesting characters on defense. Tom Jackson, who I always thought had the biggest mouth, and he put it to use. He's a terrific analyst for ESPN, and Lyle Alzado, who I always enjoyed talking with because he was so articulate and passionate. I mean, what were these guys like personally?
Well, the first response is they're both great guys. I mean, I loved them both. They were great teammates. Tommy was just like Tommy Jackson. He was, especially when we played the Raiders, because he and Madden did not appreciate each other.
Yeah, he called him. He went up and called him the Fat Man. Yeah.
How about that, Fat Man?
Yeah. I guess after they beat the Raiders once, you beat the Raiders once, he went right up to Madden in his face and he said, "Take that one, Fat Man."
He did.
You think now Madden had a pretty good sense of humor. You think he would have taken it the right way, but I guess he didn't.
No, I think that he got pretty red in the face.
Yeah.
What was the big deal?
Which goes with his nickname,
not like him
Pinky.
so much?
No, it's not that he didn't like him. It's just that he could get on his nerves.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, that's the object of the game. If you can get on somebody's nerves, especially if it's the head coach.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're going to cut to our second commercial break here. Here's the trivia question. Again, the theme is NFL Potpourri. Who was the first player in history to reach 2,500 all-purpose yards in a season? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a hint here, and it is the year 1985. The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. And I'm glad you guys are not looking this up on the internet. Okay. Who was the first player in NFL history to reach 2,500 all-purpose yards in a season? And the hint is it was.
Do we get the trick?
If you do, but you can't answer it now. You have
And
to
it happened in 1985.
1985.
I think I know this one.
You have no clue?
I think I know this
You
one.
really? Okay,
I think I do.
All right.
All right.
888-660-4495. Don't touch that dial. Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
Roger Craig.
That's what was my guess. Roger
Yeah,
Craig.
I remember Roger Craig was a terrific passer.
Yeah, he had 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving. Yeah,
He was amazing.
that's my guess.
He had a private masseuse he hired during the season to work on because he loved to just run into people and he had those high legs and he used to have bruises all over his body, so he'd hire a masseuse and just to work all the kinks up.
That's what Romo did.
Yeah,
Romo did the same thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked about Romanowski at all, Craig?
Yep.
He's quite a character.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to. I actually kind of like him, but he's kind of hard to figure out because sometimes you'll say something to him and he'll just look at you like this.
Wasn't he the one who kind of?
I remember getting on the bus with him. We were at
Bill Romanowski?
something.
That hit me?
Yeah.
No. That was Jeff Ulbrich
Fishing tackle
of the Niners.
Right, that's right. Yeah. I remember one time
Romo,
we dropped that in the locker room, and
Romo,
they went everywhere, and he was up picking them up
Romo,
one by one, and everybody was just,
yanked the
you got them
helmet
all.
off
There's one over
the
here, Bill.
teammate
And he's like,
and smashed him in the face with it and broke his eyesight.
Yeah, but I thought there was something with you.
And then he.
No.
You're thinking about Jeff Ulbrich.
That's
I've interviewed him a half dozen times, but I didn't get hit by him.
You get hit by him?
Yeah, it's just Ulbrich. That was enough.
All right. Away we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn.
Good.
Bruce McGowan.
Hup,
And
hup.
we're in the studio here with Craig Moore.
Trying to get Craig to do his, signals. 4, 3, set.
Yeah, we want
Omaha.
a hard count. That's what we want.
And then Craig is
There
looking.
you go.
There you go.
Okay, here was the second commercial break trivia question. Who was the first NFL player in history to reach 2,500 all-purpose yards in a season? Hint, the year was 1985. Answer.
My answer was Roger Craig.
And I say the same thing.
And you would be absolutely wrong.
No, Walter Payton.
Lionel James, San Diego Chargers.
Lionel James.
Lionel
Isn't that amazing?
James.
He was
There's
the
a
first
name.
one.
There's an obscure name. I haven't heard that name in years.
Just wait till you get to the next question. You'll
Oh,
really like
man.
that one.
Dang.
Well, you had the Tim Brown one last night. Was it Tim
No.
Brown? Who was the guy? Not Tim Brown. Who was the guy? Tim Williams. Wasn't that Tim Williams with the Washington Redskins that did something in the Super Bowl? You had that as a
No, I got that right. It was Timmy Smith.
Timmy
Smith.
Smith.
Timmy
See, I didn't
Smith,
even know the
I
guy's
was
name.
right on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Timmy Smith, Craig?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
We were thinking get Sammy Baugh back here. 'Cause he could kick.
Sammy Baugh.
So
He
that's
just,
right.
he just passed away
I
recently.
know.
didn't he?
What was he, like 98 or something?
Yeah, he was up there.
In fact, speaking of guys who just passed away, I thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about a few people we lost in 2013. Art Donovan.
Artie Donovan. I got to know him a little bit
Really?
when I was working in Baltimore.
Great
That guy
guy.
was funny.
Great storyteller.
He even had family out here south of the
Really?
airport.
Did you get to know him at all, Craig?
Just meet him. I've
Yeah.
never spent time with him.
Yeah.
It's interesting. In 1950, he played with the Baltimore Colts.
Mhm.
Then in 1951, he played with the New York Yanks. And then in 1952, the Dallas Texans, which moved back to Baltimore to become the Colts again. Kind of weird.
That is crazy.
And Andy Pafko died in 1992. Remember what he was famous for?
He was a Brooklyn Dodger that looked up when Bobby Thompson hit the home run.
Correct.
And his comment was, "I just saw a big fat wallet flying in." Because that's how much it cost the Brooklyn Dodgers. Of course, they went on to win the pennant the next year. So
that's
next
true.
2 years.
And then 55 World Series.
And they won it in 55. Yeah.
And apparently, he was the first player to appear in the series for 3 different teams. Didn't know that.
Really? Wow.
And then, unfortunately, we lost Chuck Muncy.
And there's a Cal
Another
guy.
great Cal Bear.
Yeah. A little after you, but about the same age as me.
Great friend.
Nice guy.
I loved him.
Yeah.
And then Virgil Trucks. He was 95 years old.
Another baseball player.
Another baseball player. Walt Bellamy. I'm trying to remember him.
Great
Basketball
center.
player.
Yeah. Played with Detroit and the New York Knicks.
Yes.
Yes. And they also had here Esther Williams.
Oh,
Before being an
yeah.
actress, she was a swimmer.
Fernando Lamas.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Since we're still kind of on the football thing here, Roger Goodell is suggesting changing the extra points, the extra point kicks, because people are just getting a little bit too bored with it. Which I actually agree with him on that. But I thought it was kind of interesting. He says here he wonders if they could add excitement by making some major adjustments to the extra point, suggesting perhaps making a touchdown worth 7 points instead of 6, with teams having the option to run a play for another point. But failing on that play, it would cost them a point.
Wow.
Why don't they just say you got to go for 2, and either you get it or
Why
not?
change the game? I like the game the way it is.
Well, it does get a little boring when you automatically always go for the
Sometimes
extra
you
point.
miss.
Yes. Hey, put it back to the 30-yard line. Maybe they'll miss more often.
You know what? That's
Push
what
them
they should
back
do
10
on kickoffs.
Yeah.
They should have it from 20. Because how many
They
times
should.
now guys are kicking, especially when you're in Denver, Mile High.
Well, they don't like the kickoff thing.
No.
There's too many injuries.
Too many injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
guys on special teams want to impress.
Talk about concussions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are crazy.
If Roger Goodell sits outside at MetLife Stadium for the entire game, then maybe I'll give him some slack.
It won't happen. It won't happen. Hey, I got to ask you, Craig, when you
He said he would.
Really? He's going to sit outside? Well, he's a better man than I'd be. You played at Denver. What were the fans in the South stands like? Those people were nuts. I sat there once, and I really felt scared.
You did.
Yeah, well, I was rooting for the other team. That's why.
You should have felt frightened.
Yeah, I did. I got some nasty looks.
I think that they were fantastic for
Yeah.
us. That was great to be down at that end zone,
Yeah.
whether you're on offense or on defense, especially on defense.
I mean, just the whole Orange Crush thing was
Yeah, it
just
was
great.
And that city just went nuts for you guys. I mean, it was like when you played, there weren't any other, whether it was the Denver Rockets, which became the Nuggets, but there really wasn't that much. There was no basketball. There was no
baseball.
no baseball, no hockey.
There was.
I mean, not major
there was
league.
basketball. It was the
ABA. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it is today.
No.
I mean, you guys were the big thing.
Oh yeah, there's just Broncos. It still is.
Yeah.
There's still other sports, but it's still a Bronco town.
Craig, you never paid for a meal while you're playing.
He always asks that. He asks that of everybody.
Hey, when
You
you're
shouldn't have had to.
when you're the
Yeah.
king,
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
true.
I paid for a lot of meals, especially other people's.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, of course, if you would have won the Super Bowl, then maybe it was a little bit different. Okay, here's my Super Bowl prediction: Broncos 24, Seattle 21. Any comments?
I'm going to go Broncos 28, Seattle 27.
Wow, that close. Wow.
Yeah, extra. Well, no, it's going to be 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and then 4 touchdowns. Peyton's going to throw 3, and they'll run for 1. That's the
Okay.
Missed the extra point.
Yeah.
I'll go 28-24 Denver Broncos.
Everybody's picking Denver.
I just, you know what it is? I don't think the weather's going to be that much of a factor, and I just think Peyton's experience, and I'd love to get Craig's take on this. I think his experience, his ability to just handle whatever wrinkle that they're going to, Pete Carroll's going to come in and try and throw some wrinkles with the linebacking core and the secondary he's got. But I mean, Peyton Manning is so good to just recognize the position and make one of those Omaha audibles and just make a play out of it. I just think he's just got too many weapons on his end to fail in this game.
What do you think, Craig?
Well, I agree. I think the Broncos win, but I hate when it's so obvious. I mean, it's been obvious many times in my career that it didn't turn out that way. I think that I don't think that Seattle can bring all those guys up like they do against the 49ers even. They can't. He will kill them. If the weather doesn't play a factor in this game, and Peyton will be Peyton. He won't, all this stuff about he doesn't play well in cold weather. Well, Denver's cold a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in playoffs, you don't play well. Here I am. So, I'm going with Denver, but I think if you don't, I know that they're number one preference. You got to start with stopping Marshawn. And Denver does not have that great defense.
It makes me.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say Marshawn Lynch gets his touches. Can Denver still win a shootout type battle, given Marshawn Lynch having a 100-yard game?
Well, if Marshawn has about a 160-yard game, I think that Seattle can beat him because they'll control the ball.
Okay.
So that's the only way I see it, unless Russell Wilson, starts playing well. He hasn't played well for a long time.
Yeah.
So, but
you think Richard Sherman going to be a major factor?
He could be.
Yeah.
It's just like I remember. What's the guy's name? That Fred, the guy from Kansas City that voiced it. He was a big voice when they played Green Bay.
Oh, Fred Williams, Fred the Hammer Williams.
Fred the Hammer Williamson.
Yeah, that was the Green Bay Packer game, the Super Bowl game, and I don't know if you know this, Edward, but he was just a loud mouth talk, Deion Sanders type.
Good-looking guy, played a Hollywood actor.
He says, I'm going to use my fists, my arms like hammers.
Yeah.
I'm going to break helmets.
Yeah, and it didn't work out that way.
He got knocked out of the game and carried off in a stretcher.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
Yep.
First Super Bowl game. But it was the best thing that ever happened to him because he became a Hollywood actor partly because of that.
Yeah, did all those blaxploitation movies with Jim Brown.
And Hollywood Henderson. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Didn't Brian Bosworth kind of have a sort of a big mouth until Bo Jackson kind of it?
Oh yeah, that was the end of him. Yeah, football wise.
Tom Henderson is. You mentioned Tom Hollywood Henderson. I think he's dead, isn't he?
No.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he. In fact, I just was with him this last weekend.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
He has won the lottery twice.
Really?
Wow.
He says, Craig, I'm still a millionaire after all this. He said, I won about $28 million.
Because I remember he had problems.
Yeah, the first one he lost it all, right? He hit the lottery, lost it all, and then hit
it again. So he says,
wow.
I'm still a millionaire. He lives in Florida.
Good, no taxes.
He weighs about 295, and he says, I love it.
Good for him.
Never missed a meal.
He's
good for him.
He was an interviewer's dream. God, he was fun to talk to.
He was LT before LT.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
That's why
he hasn't had a drink or any drugs or anything for 30 years.
Yeah, because I know he had a lot of problems there. He got himself straightened out. That's great.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of the money side of things, 22-year-old Michael Carter Williams, rookie for the 76ers, his stepfather getting him to put $4.5 million in trust that Michael can't touch for 3 years. Now he's 22, so he's already of age. But his stepdad, I guess he's pretty close to him, got him to put this money.
Smart move.
Smart.
But he can spend endorsement money any way he wants.
Of course.
So I'm kind of wondering how much endorsement money is expected for this young. I mean, this isn't LeBron James or Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but he's only 22. He's got his whole career ahead of him.
Yeah, so I mean, endorsements. I guess he's not maybe getting any endorsements now. But
well, it just takes one Aaron Andrews outburst, Edward, to be able to get endorsements lined up.
Hey, how about the endorsement? Did you hear Marshawn Lynch got one from Skittles?
Finally signed one with Skittles.
And he
it's
said,
about time.
And it's kind of a neat story. His mom, I guess, used to give him Skittles when he was a kid and tell him, these are actually little energy boosters for you. Which I guess they were.
And it'll help you focus. So he would just eat Skittles, and even during his games at Seattle, he would just be on the sidelines.
Is that why the Skittles have become the official?
Yeah, because he eats them during the course of a game.
What a great story! And then they threw him, of course, at the 49ers, which was not very nice.
In fact, when he scores a touchdown at Seattle, fans just throw Skittles onto the field.
Those are performance-enhancing Skittles.
Yeah.
So, Craig, when you this is going to be a little bit personal, but because how much money did they pay back then? When you were playing.
When I signed in 1965, I got a 3-year contract for $150,000 and a Jaguar XKE.
Righteous bucks.
Oh, they gave you a Jag, not as a signing bonus.
I'll tell you, my senior year, I went by this Jaguar shop maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and there was this gold XKE, and I says, I'm getting that. I'm going to get that thing. So
yeah,
it was
still
there
that Jaguar.
my football season, so they got it for me.
Were you the #1 draft pick that year?
Yeah, I was number 5 overall.
Number 5, but still top draft pick was good.
And that was what, 65?
65.
So that was good money. 50,000 was good money for
the taxes in those days.
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay.
Who went one? Did Horning go one?
No, a guy.
No, Horning was in the 50s. Yeah.
Tucker Frederickson.
Tucker Frederickson.
And then came.
What about Steve Spurrier? Wasn't he?
He
was that 66? Okay, all right.
Before me was Tucker Frederickson, I think, and then Gale Sayers and Butkus went to the Bears.
Wow.
Oh, that was the same year.
Same year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have three of the. They have two of the first five picks.
Couldn't win.
I remember.
Wow.
They still couldn't win.
One of the first games I ever saw Craig play was against Illinois, and Dick Butkus was just a terror at Memorial Stadium that day. I think you guys lost a heartbreaker, but he was just all over the place.
Yeah, he was certainly one of the great. He can still play today.
I was playing.
Did you ever get hit by him?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Ooh!
What did it
Oh
feel
my
like?
God! What's the story?
Yeah, what's it feel like when you get hit by Dick Butkus?
He was a little
Wound
excited.
up?
He was really wound up. I mean, he took some of those Skittles before.
Well,
And,
also,
he didn't know who anybody was. I mean, we were friends and played in all-star games together, and spent some time together. And he didn't know anybody. And first thing he'd do before every game, he'd go up and spit on the ball. And I told my center, I always knew that. I said, "Don't change that ball." Don't I take the first?
What about getting hit by Nitschke?
They're all
all
little in there. They're all the same. When you get hit, it doesn't make a difference who you get hit by.
Yeah.
There's people ask me a lot, who's the hardest you've ever been hit?
Besides that,
I don't know. What's his name? The linebacker with Raiders.
Dan Connors?
No, the big guy.
Oh, Ted Hendricks. Yeah.
Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Ted Hendricks tells a story that he.
Tell you what.
Okay.
Keep on to that story. We're going to cut to this last commercial break.
When we come back.
When we come back. Okay.
Good teaser.
True stories.
Okay, here's the third trivia question. Who was the first running back to throw for over 750 yards in his career? The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day to United States Lighthouse Resort. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. Who was the first running back to throw for over 750 yards? Don't touch that dial. Sports Econ 101. I'll be right back.
Paul
Paul
Horning.
Horning.
Right?
And you guys
That's my guess.
Yeah, that was a good guess. He got it first.
Gold.
Yeah, he was a good throw. He was a good passer, wasn't he? Now Paul Horning is still around, isn't he?
Yes.
He's got to be close
Did
to
he-
80.
Did he win the Heisman over Jim Brown? Wasn't that the big thing?
Yes, and Notre Dame was 1-9.
Oh
yeah,
my God,
they were
that's
one
right.
of the losing team.
That's right. He never played on the winning teams.
And
There.
it was the biggest miscarriage of justice of all time.
Ugh. But he was the golden boy. They loved him. Yeah.
That's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But Jim Brown, come on.
Yeah. How could you
I mean,
deny
Was it a black thing, you think?
I think.
Wow, that's too bad.
Yeah. No
definitely.
Yeah, because it wasn't until Ernie Davis.
Yeah, that's
what,
right. Next
60
couple years later,
yeah,
60,
he was
64,
the first African American.
One of these.
There couldn't have been a better
one of the
player
teams
than Jim Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the teams were the last ones to integrate.
Alabama was the last one.
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Bear Bryant.
But even in football, though.
And in basketball, I think it was Kentucky, right? When it Adolph Rupp was he the last one to integrate in basketball?
Yeah. He said the famous quote was, "We'll have a black player on our team, and the Harlem Globetrotters have a white player."
You couldn't find anybody good enough to.
Yeah. It's like, hello.
Okay. You remember your story you're going to finish off with?
Ted Hendricks.
Okay, because we have
The Mad Stork.
we have about a minute and a half.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. By the way, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Okay. Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn, Bruce McGowan,
Hello.
and our special guest, Craig Morton. Okay, here was the third and final trivia question. Who was the first running back to throw for over 750 yards? And the answer came
Golden boy, Paul Horning.
Paul Horning.
Yeah.
wrong.
No.
Get out.
No.
Frank Gifford.
Oh,
Oh!
the other golden boy.
Yeah.
Boy,
The
exactly.
other
Goal
golden
number
boy.
16.
Okay, now, Craig, we only have a couple of minutes. Go ahead and finish off your story about Ted Hendricks.
Just Ted tells a story that he hit me so hard that I upchucked and he thought he had just knocked me out. He said, then he got up. He said, "How could you ever get up?" He said, "I never hit anybody that hard." So I thought it was a wuss hit. So I hit harder many times. But I can't. The hardest I've ever been hit is when you try to get out of bounds, and I never could. When you're trying to run out of bounds, they were always faster than me.
Yeah.
And then they hit you, and you start rolling up, and your mind's going crazy. And then when it all stops, you just kind of just feel everything.
See, that's the
Yeah,
thing with a
get up.
helmet. You know, even though you have a helmet, the thing is when your head hits the ground,
Yeah.
I mean, that's still got to give you a star, more than just
That's
stars.
more. I got more of those concussions by hitting my head on the ground.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I've had that one time. I had this guy who was a lot bigger than I, tackle football with no helmet, of course.
Of course.
Us brilliant kids,
Yeah.
And I literally saw the stars in the flash.
Oh, yeah.
And I realized I probably did have a concussion. Okay, I want to thank my co-hosts, Bruce McGowan and Vern Glenn, and our special guest, Craig Morton. Thank you for joining us here. Here's our thoughts for the day. The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. And Dean Smith said, if you make every game a life and death thing, you're going to have a lot of problems because you'll be dead a lot. Tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be giving away more vacations and we're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Enjoy the Super Bowl, America.
So long.
Go Broncos.
Good.
Edward's always got this thing. I'm trying to get it down. He goes, he's trying to make sure nobody says anything, and then you go like this. You kind of lift your finger, you go like that, like a little fan.
Oh, yeah. They want me like a few seconds ahead, and
Yeah,
so they
right.
you're cutting. Stuff like that.
I hate to say I got to run out of here because I got to be over at
Yeah,
San
no,
Anselmo in 20 minutes.
San is wow.
Well, I'm doing this
So
high
were you watching
school
the Super Bowl?
basketball game today on the internet. I did this.
Drake?
If
Yeah,
you're
Drake,
interested, I
Drake.
got,
Who they playing?
I got man
What's
cave.
the freshman game? And then
Yeah.
we're going
I
to do
got
the
a man
varsity
cave
game later.
up here. I'm just having
Oh,
a
you
couple
did?
of
So,
a couple of guys.
it's kinda
Let me,
fun. Good seeing you, man.
Nicole,
Brucey.
if you're interested.
Thanks, Bruce.
Craig, thanks so
Nice
much,
to meet
man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Vern's
Yeah,
been to my
pleasure.
place here.
All right.
He's,
Edward, can I use your
yes.
key? Oh,
Yeah, it's right there. Vern's been to my place. Vern, you said you've been to my place. You like the man cave?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, it's like a theater. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, give him a call. Thanks again.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Tweet this out here.
See you guys.
Okay.
It's a good picture.
Oh, good. Yeah, go ahead and if you could email that to me because I'll put this up on the website.
And,